Today on the show,
There are investment opportunities in Canada.
how Kenyans can benefit from Canada.
You can come and own a trucking company in Canada. You can come open a chain of petrol stations in Canada.
We have a lot of students, and then we also have a lot of professionals. We are everywhere.
As the 2024 edition of the Daring Abroad Investment Forum comes to a close in Toronto.
It has brought us together as a community.
Partnerships start from a small seed and it grows.
My name is Michael Manyange. Let's start the show. When it comes to a thriving economy, bountiful opportunities and welcoming culture, Canada is ahead of the rest. Nicknamed the Great White North, Canada over the years has created a name for itself as the place where anyone can be anything they put their minds to. This is according to Kenya's Acting High Commissioner to Canada, Ambassador Manyange.
There are investment opportunities in Canada. If I could just use the example of a Kenyan coming to Canada and maybe is a mechanic or a driver, a truck driver. They come in here, they're here for a couple of years, then they want to stop just being an employee. They want to own a trucking company. Some already have trucking companies, but they start by being a driver so that you can drive from Quebec or Canada to the US to Mexico. You know the routes on how it works. Then now, once you've created your credit history, you can approach a bank for capital. Then you can now start having one truck, two truck, and you own a trucking company. Through that, there is an opportunity for you as a Kenyan. Now you can hire drivers from Kenya because you own a business. There are opportunities, say for example, like Kenyans own petrol stations in Kenya, but also there are such opportunities in Canada. So when you're trying to say, how do we get Kenyans here to have jobs? Because to get a visa, the easiest way is to have a work permit. The work permit, if a Kenyan comes and opens 100 petrol stations in Canada, they can hire Kenyans as the people who work in those petrol stations. That's an investment opportunity. If Kenyans want to come and open a restaurant, if Kenyans want to come and learn on how to do motor car dealership, all those are business opportunities. You learn how the first world works so that as we begin to manufacture cars in Kenya, then it becomes possible you are the ones who will be doing the dealerships of locally manufactured cars in Kenya. So the opportunities are vast.
Sentiments echoed by Kenyans living in Canada, like Ms. Phoebe Kagumba Sibanda, who's lived in Canada for over 20 years.
We are actually a mix. Many of them are coming as students. Then there's the informal sector, I'll just talk about the visitors. And then we also have a lot of professionals who have been around in Canada. We've been here for many years.
In various sectors.
Yeah, in various sectors. There's finance, medical, in the teaching area,
construction,
agriculture, construction. We are everywhere.
People who came as professionals.
Yes, yes.
Indeed, the home of about 40 million people and second largest country in the world in terms of landmass is not only a melting pot of diversity, but a hub for economic empowerment, but with a caveat, you have to plan correctly.
Canada is not exactly a country of milk and honey, for the very simple reason, what works in Canada is regular migration. And regular migration, as I said, you either come as a student, you either come as a person who has got a job already. You don't just show up that you are coming for a conference and start loitering the streets. Because once you use that route, it takes you a longer time to settle down, to even have the authority to have a work permit. So the best thing we advise Kenyans, yes, there are opportunities, but the opportunities must be structured. If you're coming, you come to a job. The tragedy of it all is some people lie to hoodwink Kenyans to come and thinking that you can just come with any flimsy reason and land a job here. There are opportunities, but you come through the right channel, because otherwise if you don't come, there are over 3,000 Kenyans right now in Canada who are awaiting their cases for asylum seeking. It's not going to be easy. A majority of them are being rejected because the grounds they are citing are not solid. So if you want to come to Canada as a Kenyan, the thing is, go to the IRCC website. It's very clear. If you have got the qualification, look for a job. If you can look for the job, the embassy tries the best. The High Commission tries the best to try to get opportunities.
Yes, opportunities are there, but you have to be smart about it. So, with all this in mind, it makes perfect sense why Canada, more specifically Toronto, the commercial capital of the country, be the place where the 2024 edition of the Daring Abroad Investment Forum came to a close. Marked by intimate conversations and insightful presentations, the forum was a much-needed event linking the Kenyan diaspora in Canada to industry leaders from the 254. Yes, for 2 days, the forum brought together industry heavyweights from various sectors in a perfect mix of private and government representation.
Daring Abroad Forum is really a distinctively unique and rich experience for the Kenyans in Canada, for example, the Kenyan diaspora, the exhibitors or the Kenyan businesses interested in getting Kenyans abroad to invest back home, the Canadian public and the Kenyan public at large. For many reasons. One, the idea that you are exposing, you're providing an opportunity for Kenyans in abroad to know what opportunities exist in, say, investment, 2, in savings, 3, managing their pensions, 4, in reaching out and continuing to provide an experience of their culture. Culture either through, say, for example, during the forum, Kenyan food is served. So even Canadians who come can be able to taste mandazi, they can be able to test, our gastronomy. That is not something we take for granted. And then now there is the economic diplomacy angle. You're coming here to talk about investment. In talking about investment, you're talking about tourism. In talking about tourism, you're speaking about trade. So all these things are all dovetail in the sense that the forums as a vehicle for selling Kenya is solid.
And as is the norm, the forum wasn't just about Kenya, as the event also saw participation from Toronto-based businesses.
We have been operating for the last 10 years as a catering group. Although 4 years ago, we went into the restaurant business, but the business didn't succeed well, and then now we are back again to full mobile catering across GTA, which is across Toronto and Greater Toronto area. It's been good. People are really good at coming up, and they want to know, they want to learn. They've been very supportive. It's really good.
Now, the event would not be possible without the goodwill of the Kenyan diaspora communities here in Canada that were key in the success of the forums. One particular community that gave great support in Toronto was the Kenyan community in Ontario.
It's a membership-driven organization. And what we are here for is to bring Kenyan community together in all manners, and remember our culture from home. And at the same time, as we integrate as Canadians, how can we be more enriched in that sense? And that's basically what we do.
And in the last couple of years, it has been revamped, and it's a new organization, and we are undertaking various programs. One which comes out to mind right now, we just started a hotline, which started on June 29th, which was launched during the Kenyan community barbecue in Hamilton. Kenyans who come here and they don't know where to get certain things, and also it's helping them on personal issues, maybe when they need assistance, whereby they don't want to talk to members of the community, and they call this line, and everything that they say is confidential. That we must say that. And also we are trying to, like I said, we're trying to bring Kenyans together, and most of the other things, we have other programs. We've started a monthly speaker series that we have various speakers come and talk to the Kenyan Community Ontario members, different things. At times we talk about taxes, the criminal justice system, and things like those.
Okay.
we are not specialized in any one way. And everybody who identifies as Kenyan or who is a friend of Kenya is free to join us. And we are open. We have a platform where you can join. You don't have to pay any membership fee, but you feel at home with us in that organization in that sense. And we also are a reference for the Kenya High Commission, because if you go on the Kenya High Commission website, when you look at some of the organizations that you can join or that are linked and partner with the Kenya High Commission, Kenyan Community Ontario is one of them.
One of the biggest tools we have in Canada, and the people who provide some of the most solid support to Kenyan diaspora, are the diaspora groups. You know, groups like Kenyans in Ontario, Kenyans in Alberta, Kenyans in British Columbia, Kenyans in Ottawa, Kenyans in Quebec. All these umbrella groups of Kenyans, we have them. There is a leaders council. They are pastors, so they are able to feed information to the mission, and the mission liaises with them to try to see, for Kenyans who are in distress, how best do we help them. The mission is based in Ottawa. Ottawa is a 5-hour drive from Toronto. So the Kenyans in Ontario, the leadership is nearer to that Kenyan to help them than the mission is. So there's that collaboration. So the value of the diaspora organization, it is invaluable.
Just a reminder that the 2024 edition saw the forums being held in over 13 cities across 3 continents, Australia, Europe and North America, with most exhibitors working with us every step of the way.
When you invest with Unity Homes, you'll never go wrong. We have seen properties appreciate for the last 4 years. Those ones which are going for almost 4 million shillings are now at 8 million shillings in 4 years. We've seen the yield in terms of rent grow from 23,500 to 44,500 in 4 years. So the Kenyans who are investing with Unity Homes will always get their return on investment, and it's a proper return on investment that's able to double in a short span period of time.
It has been such a wonderful experience, I must say. Kenyans all over the world, we've been Australia, Europe, America, now Canada. We've met leaders, and they've been very hospitable. They've given us a lot of support. They were very warm to welcome us, and I must appreciate them, and I say God bless you so much for the support. And the most important thing is that they've been able to buy our properties in large numbers.
One thing we say, we settle Kenyans. And we settle Kenyans in Kenya and beyond, and Canada is one of the beyonds. And generally what we do, we sell value-added properties. Yes. You know, we have some other arms, like giving back to the community, but generally we do value-added properties.
Really enjoyed the whole journey. Thank you very much for organizing all of this. So we've built some affordable houses, 147. We chose Riruta to be the location, and we have now put them on rent, and they're selling.
Wow.
Yes, and a lot of diaspora clients want the cash flow.
Quite timely, quite informative, quite successful, with all those taking part having nothing but praise for the forum.
It has brought us together as a community. We have been able to learn about properties in Kenya, investment. We have also been challenged to think about how we can invest in Kenya and how we can also invest here as a group.
And we people who are staying in Canada, we are so happy about this forum. It has been so much positive because we have learned so many things, and we want to thank Alex for coming to talk to us and to meet us as Kenyan Canadians.
What have you learned?
We have learned so many things, Alex. One of them that we have met many things that's happening back home, that we have seen investors coming in, and they're telling us what is happening back home in Kenya. They want us to know what is happening there and how we can come in. So that was amazing information that we now have, because we didn't have a green light of that.
There are so many investment opportunities, but we're trying to see what fits the Kenyans here.
Both here and back home, maybe
back home,
you're
yes.
looking back home also.
Because what we know is it is easier when you get Canadian dollars and invest in Kenya, it is cheaper in terms of, let's say, buying a house or building a house in Kenya compared to here. As you can see in Ontario, the housing market is crazy. So in terms of Kenyans coming together, starting an investment club, it's easier when you bring resources together and invest back home. But that's something that the members have to deliberate themselves and see which way to go.
What a way to wrap up the 2024 edition. And judging from this year's success, next year's will definitely be a must attend for all. Quite commendable there, and you've heard it from Kenyans in Canada as well as the acting ambassador. Opportunities are there, you just have to do it the right way. Time for us to go on a short break, but when we return, we will have more about investment tips with Centum Real Estate.
Unity Homes is a housing developer, and we focus on creating high-grade investment properties. We were founded in 2015 really with the aim of producing high-quality homes at an affordable price. At present, we have 3 projects ongoing within Tartu City. Silver Hill is a passion project. I love that London-style architecture. The ground floor is a dining room, living room, open-plan kitchen. It's got an electric fireplace. The whole thing opens up into your own private garden. We've got a gym, we've got a swimming pool, we've got a sauna, we've got a business centre, but we've also got a private park. I would urge anybody who's watching this, whether you're in the diaspora, whether you're in Kenya, you should get in touch with us. We make sure that these are pleasant places to bring up families.
Welcome back. Now, Daring Abroad not only takes you around the world, but also shares some valuable insights about happenings back home. And today, it is all about investment tips with Centum Real Estate. Investment tips with Centum Real Estate. Centum Real Estate. Real estate with real experience. Welcome to the segment. For record purposes, kindly tell us who you are and what you do.
Thank you, Michael. My name is Doreen Onwonga. I'm a partner at KN Law LLP, an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. KN Law LLP is a law firm out of Kenya with liaison offices in London. We do have 10 years of experience in the Kenyan market, and real estate is really one of our areas of expertise.
And very eloquently put. But the next question is going to be procedure. So I want to invest in property in Kenya. How do I go about that?
When you contract a lawyer to, represent you in a transaction, so the initial stage would be, you would sign a letter of engagement with the lawyer, typically just setting out, these are my obligations to you. This is what you would pay me for the service and how you would pay me. Typically, you also want to confirm, does this lawyer have, because a lawyer is a professional, do they have adequate professional indemnity cover so that in case things go wrong and they do, then you're able to be covered? Do they have the necessary certifications as lawyers to be able to do this, and what experience? Then after that, the lawyer starts a process, which means they start a requisition process where they requisition or they ask for the counterparty, who's the seller, for documents to enable them, do their due diligence. Based on that, I would issue a due diligence report to you and tell you, based on the above, I think, pass, progressed, or based on the above, I think you may progress, but maybe when you're negotiating the agreements, consider getting these warranties and indemnities from the other party. Or, I don't think it's a good idea. Look for another property. If you decide to proceed, so we said we are talking about it in the context of an apartment. Typically, a developer would have something called, other developers may have something called a reservation form, which is saying, it's like an expression of interest saying, I'm interested. Typically, the amounts you pay there would be very, like 1% of the total purchase price, just, seen. And you may actually have people start from the reverse. For example, Centum has held an event, I'm interested. For the reservation, I'll pay something 100,000 to $1 million to just, express my interest as I start this process. So it's okay to actually sign a reservation process as you then start the due diligence process. Because then after the reservation form, it is essentially saying, you know, you could lose that money if you decide not to proceed, but it's money that you can afford to lose at the end of the day. But you don't want to lose, for example, an apartment at a certain level. Then after the reservation form, you have your letter of offer. At that point, then it's really important to have a lawyer, because then it sets the broad terms, the broad principles that will govern the transaction. What is the purchase price? You know, interest in case of defaults. What kind of generally of title documents will I deliver to you? So typically at this point, you pay 10% of the purchase price, because now it's then subject to contract. Because at that point is when the developer feels I'm now comfortable to now engage my lawyer to then, you know, generate the definitive or the final, the actual binding documents, which is the sale agreement or the agreement for lease. Once transfer is done, then, you know, you have your title. Yeah, you take possession, which means you've given your keys. One of the things you need to look at, if I'm abroad, did I engage my developer? Do they have a trusted property manager at the back of it? That, for example, if I don't have this, if I'm not using it as a residential apartment, I wanted to rent it out, they have someone, a facilities or properties manager that can assist me through that process and then get into the necessary contractual arrangements. Yeah, or if I want to live in it, or, you know,
okay. And with that, now you're successfully now a homeowner.
You're a property owner, yeah.
Okay.
Investment tips with Centum Real Estate. Centum Real Estate. Real estate with real experience.
Wow, quite informative from Centum Real Estate. I'm sure right now you're a bit more legally aware of the real estate industry right here in Kenya. And speaking of Centum Real Estate, they have an amazing opportunity for each and every one of you. Yes, you can now own property at Cascadia at Two Rivers. For those who are interested, kindly contact Centum Re for more information.
That's how we wrap up the show today. Many thanks for watching, and on behalf of the team responsible for this week's episode, we say, let's do this again next time.